This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is going to be, I'm going to put my pack back together video because the one of me taking it apart just didn't work out. Now here we go. Anybody that knows my pack knows that I'm OCD about it. I just really think that it's important. Don't want to go anywhere. I've changed the gun out of it from the revolver, which for Mrs. Guns, Knives, and Watches, to a 19. Now, it's just a khaki 19. Why? Because I wear khaki pants a lot. The extra magazine for it is actually 1 out of a 17. So you've got 2 more rounds. Does that matter? Not really. But its interchangeability with a 17 or a la 34 matters. Now both these weapons have night sights on them. And of course this one's illuminated with a push button, just because. I mean, I just can't. And this is an Ultra 300 in khaki also, just because I wear a lot of khaki. Of course these guns all have P&W ammo, 9mm. Is it the cheapest stuff? No, but when you're dealing with things like that, you know, I'd rather have better ammo than not. Of course, I put this on the inside of the pack, and this is a Kelty Map 3500 from Amron, and because I have that magazine there and that pistol there, which is the way a left-handed person would probably reach in and grab it, I have it oriented already in the pack. And believe it or not, it stays there because of all the other stuff on it. It just kind of keeps it compressed. Sometimes it'll move around, but very seldom. It'll only just cock at an angle. Of course, I have an SOL tarp. Survive outside longer. This is 5x7. It's mirrored because I'm going to either use this for 2 things. I'm going to use this as a, or 3 things. I can use it as a wrap around a person, as a blanket. I can use it for over-the-head protection in the rain, or I can use it for overhead protection in the sun. Extreme sun out in the desert, this there. This can create cover. Now, that basically goes in the water, or the whatever pouch this is. I guess that's for the hydration bladder. Of course, this 3500 has stays in it. Everybody knows this there. The other has 2 of them, so it's a framed pack. I feel like I go over this shit all the time, but you wouldn't realize how really valuable this pack is to me. I really have gotten it to a point to where I wouldn't go anywhere without it. Well, I'll go to work, but I won't go out of town. And even when I'm in town and anything I'm going to help someone or do something, this pack goes with me. Because you just never know. Side of the road, you're fixing somebody's tire, and you just need some of this stuff. Of course, this one is a used 3mm trash bag. I have 2 3mm, one that hasn't been used, one that is. Why? Because I've gone over that. I use that for our laundry when we're out of town. It's just the way it works. Put dirty clothes in there. My kitchen bag starts with just a standard Sea to Summit, very inexpensive sack in black. Why? Because I'm going to be cooking probably on a campfire. If I have to heat sterilized water, this there or the other. This is a Morse pot. Here's a lid to the Morse pot. I've gone over all of this way too much. But you would not believe how valuable I found this kit. UCO matches, why is that important? Because someone might not be able to use this. Now, I know my pack's heavy, it's 19 pounds, but I have this for shits and giggles, actually. Believe it or not, it's more of a novelty item than it is actually a ferrocerium rod, man. Then we've got our Bic lighter, and then the titanium stove, titanium windscreen from 4Dog Stove. It might sound funny to say that's more of a novelty item than anything, but sometimes I just need a laugh, and looking at that big thing, carrying it around is really, it just honestly makes me laugh. I know it works really well. I know in a stressful situation, its length and its size will actually make starting a fire easier, and I accept that, but I get more of a laugh out of it than anything. Now, of course, this bag goes in here so it does not damage the water treatment or anything else on my pack. By the water treatment, I mean the waterproof coating. There we go. We are bagged up and ready to go. We're going to build it backwards, which means we're going to have our utility pouch in next. Our food is low priority. In the food container, I also put this soap, which is the biodegradable soap. Why? Just in case it leaks. Plus, you can wash dishes with it. You can wash your hair with it, body wash, anything you want to do. And as I said, it's biodegradable. Now, this is orange. Now, this is a lighter weight sil nylon ripstop bag. And this is from Outdoor Research. It's a very light orange ripstop, as I said. It's orange just because I can easily see it at night. 2 spoons, of course the Optimus, I think it's MSR, titanium, and then the Light My Fire. Just in case you want a fork. 4 steaks, that goes with those other 2 steaks, so I have 6 steaks total. Is that a little excessive? Probably, but I use them for different things. And comfort on the side of the road when tire blows out or something. Here's a 750 weight paracord. It's not 550, and it's that stuff that I made a video about. The lid for my titanium cup, and that's as much a novelty item as I guess the long ferrocerium rod. But it's very light. It's the lightest thing I have. Very expensive. Didn't say it was super cost effective, but it works. Baco Laplander saw. Now, if you've seen from that thing's been used quite a bit. I really enjoy that. More Bushcraft Black. Of course, my Bushcraft Black has been sharpened, which is why that part of that there scanty grind, boy, has, of course, it's been beat up all to hell, but that's okay. Good knife for the money. Really, really like it. Of course, I had said something about the titanium from Canteen and Cup, and the cover from Heavy Cover. Of course, this has the optional titanium lid because I'm sometimes a dumbass. And it just happens. I'll start to put something on there and go, oh my god, don't do that. It gets too hot. We got food in there. 5 granola bars. May not be what everybody likes, but it'll be what everybody gets if there's a problem. Of course, I've gone through my water treatment. I've changed it quite a few times, like the gun. I went back with a Sawyer squeeze. 2 different reasons. This pack is for multiple people, up to 5 people. Is it the perfect pack for 5 people? No, but it is a very, very good compromise because it's only 1 or 2 people that are going to be without resources or the things that they need, and this pack can deal with a couple people. Because I know I'm going to be prepared. Mrs. Gunson and watches, I hope will be prepared. And one of the children between them all will have everything. That's just the way it is. Might take all 3 of them to get 1 of everything, but that's the way it works. And this is really good high flow rate. So when you have a bunch of people and you don't have a whole lot of time, high flow rate matters. The Sawyer Squeeze has a higher flow rate and will, of course, will filter more than the Sawyer Mini. Plus, I've got this kind of, this is the cap off a, whatever, that damn water that, shit. Anyway, it's the distilled water they sell. By the case. I buy it, use it all the damn time. Right now, it's one of the dyslexia things. Sawyer clean plunger for that, backwash it, and then a 2-liter Evernew bag. I can remember this is a 2-liter bag forever and always. Sometimes I'll get Evernew, sometimes I won't. What kind of cap is that? Hell, who knows? Somebody's probably already typed it or this, there, or the other. It's not Aquafina, it's not any of that crap. It's, whatever. The bottles are really great for use on the trail, but that's neither here nor there. Now, when you put together your bag, you've got to put things in there in a certain order. Of course, this is a waterproof bag, just in case I need it. Could I have put something else in it? Could I have used another bag? Yeah, of course. This is from Outdoor Research, and I believe this is a 10-liter. It's just handy. I like that size. The 10, the 15 are really good. This is, of course, a towel, which I've shown McNett, just da-da-da-da. Some Marmot fleece gloves with leather palms. Are they ideal? No. Not in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but they work. Should I have something that's more heavy-duty? Yeah, but the thing is this kit's for the real world. It's not for a zombie apocalypse. So I have to afford the kit the way in which, you know, this, there, or the other. Of course, this is my mini survival kit in case I was to basically get separated from everybody or had to go do something. I have 4 of these fast fires. I've got my mini survival kit in there, and then I've got a lock sack, and I've got a Mylar blanket. And it's just in a small, little easy to carry with a red Metolius, I guess that's how you pronounce that, beaner, which is mini, very light, but as strong as any other climbing beaner. Then, of course, I've got the uninsulated parka, which I've gone over many times. Why uninsulated? Because with this and that trash bag, I've got 2 raincoats. If I use the 3rd trash bag, I've got 3. It's just the way it works, and I can use them for various and sundry other things, but that's pretty, a pretty no-brainer use of them. Of course, I've got my Disney golf hat, because you just never know where I'm going to be out and not have a hat. And don't have a whole lot of hair on top of my head, so I try to stay the hell out of the sun as much as I can. Mechanics leather work gloves. Now, I would not recommend these work gloves. Why? Because even though they're synthetic leather, they hold water really well, do not dry out that quick, and they tend to wear right through here. I have no idea, but these tend to fail. If they're going to fail anywhere, it's going to be around these joints. And, the leather on the palm's great, but I would just get the regular standard mechanics work gloves. Get them in whatever color you want, and you'll be way far ahead. I just never use these, so they're just available. And they're not a bad option. They're not perfect, but they're not bad. Of course, I did forget one big thing going in here, because I'm putting the stuff back in here. And, of course, my first aid kit. Anybody knows my first aid kit is not just a first aid kit. It's a various and sundry catch-all. I've got things like Benadryl, different types of meds, Benadryl chewables, some Burley Balm, Polysporin, that type of stuff, fingernail clippers. Why? Because this pack is for use in the real world. Not the zombie apocalypse days, but you're going out of town with 5 people. Somebody's going to need some of this stuff, or this, there, or the other. And when you're out and you're working and you're doing all that stuff, you don't always notice, if you're not doing 15 miles a day, that, you got a nail that's this, there, or the other. And yeah, I could use the more bushcraft black to cut it, but yeah, I ain't got those kind of mad skills, man. That's just the way it is. And it's just convenient as hell if you're a family of 5 and there's 4 females. It's just the way it works. It works better if you have fingernail clippers. Of course, we have pads and we have money. I've upgraded the amount of money that's in there, but your choice, that's up to you as far as how much money you carry. I would at least carry enough to have 1 tank of gas on your worst vehicle. The vehicle that has the worst gas mileage, have the ability to buy a tank full. It works out. Of course, things like thermometers and different kinds of bandages. And these are the H-type bandages, and there's some other types in there. Some first aid tape, all that crap. Of course, quick clot, and safety pins, and steri strips, and Talfa pads, and Telfa, sorry. Just stuff. Gold Blonde. You'd be amazed how much this will really improve your day. I'm not really, I can't even make that shit up. And somebody always forgets a toothbrush and Q-tips. It is just really, and the Q-tips serve a bunch of different purposes. I'm going to put that together down the road, okay? I'll put it together after the video is over. Of course, we're on the outside of the pack now. And if anybody's, my pack constantly changes because my environments constantly change. Back not too long ago, of course, it's always going to have a Swiss Tool Spirit in it, and this is the Spirit with the penknife blade, not the serrated one, just because I like it and I can sharpen it easily out in the field. We're always going to have 4 extra batteries in a holder, preferably in orange, just so I can easily see it at night, because you're never going to care if you can't find your battery container in the day. Nighttime's different. Of course, these are both Surefire headlamp, and Surefire Outdoorsman, which is a 2-stage light. And it's not that bright, but it's just an older one that I have, so I can put it in there. Of course, a pen. This is the pen from black aluminum pen from CountyCom. Any of the other pens I don't like because they're heavier. I like this one because no matter what you're in, blood, guts, this, that, or the other, the serrations on that make it really nice. Or if you're running or have been running and you're out of breath and you're sweating and you need to do that, you write something down. Of course, write in the rain notepads are always good. And wipes in a 6x9 lock sack. Can't go wrong with that. And then you can't go wrong with insect repellent if you're in that type of environment. This is a 3-ounce bottle. So you can take it on airlines, everything else. You can't take some of this stuff, but there's odorless. It's a lotion, works really well. And it's from Sawyer, and then there's Sawyer 30 SPF, just because my family needs that every so often. And Purell, and this is Purell with aloe, because you know you're gonna have more problem. You're gonna have more chance of using this as a hand sanitizer and need the aloe because your skin's all screwed up, then you are gonna need it as a fire starter. This may be as good a fire starter as the other one. I have no idea. I don't sit back and light 2 different types of Purell on fire and see which one burns the best. It's just not what I consider a good time. And of course I've got the extra lock sacks in various sizes, shapes, and this, there, or the other. Just because they're good, they're handy. You can use them for a lot of things. Now I've had to upgrade my comms package, and this is the only comms gear I really have in here. And what that is basically a charging for smartphones. I have a 30-pin connector, FireWire, both of those for Apples. I've got a mini USB for a Samsung Galaxy. It's the USB 2. I don't have the 3 because the 2 is universally acceptable. Might not charge as quick, but it works. And then I've got a power adapter for an iPhone, and then a damn set of earbuds. Because why? My daughter needed earbuds one trip, and she asked me and asked me and asked me, and I didn't have them, so now I have them, and that's just the way it works. Sewing kit always. Why? Because when I go on vacation or get stuck out in the middle of the wilderness, I want to do some sewing. No, and this is for when shit breaks. A couple needles. We've got Kevlar. We've got some very, very, very strong thread for awnings, and we are rock and roll in a few different colors. Of course, another piece of comms gear, 2 whistles, because in case you have no power, in case you have no transmission, in case you have a lot of different things. This bag, this Kelty Map 3500, I swear I cannot go anywhere without now. And I don't choose to. Used to, I would, if the car was packed, this, there, or the other, I'd kick this out to the side. Nowadays, I would never do that and go out of town. I've had too many things happen. One thing on the exterior of the pack, I have another carabiner, and this is the Metolus Mini. This one is in black. Just because I had that color. I bought a multi-pack of them, and I've used all the colors in almost everything. But anything you can do to save weight. Some of the stuff I have in here, like the big ferro rod, is just for shits and giggles. Some of the other things bring a smile to my face, or I can make a joke about, or this, there, or the other. And in a really stressful situation, that may be assistance, it may not, this, there, or the other. But you can really, you lose most circumstances in a survival situation mentally. If you have the proper training, you have the proper ability. Now this pack weighs 19 pounds. And that is without water, but I showed you the food in it. I've showed you everything else in it. And it just really works. One thing I did not go over is there is an escape and evasion kit in this bag somewhere. I used to have it in my first aid kit. I don't anymore. Now that is for different types of handcuff keys, shims. There's lock picking equipment, a couple different sets. One that's a smaller set and one that's just a normal size, but it's still titanium. And then there's a few other little pieces of this, that, or the other, because I really can't afford to be detained by anyone who not doing it legally. Someone who's illegally detaining me or my family is just not something that I'm going to accept very easily. So I have that in here where I can get to it relatively quickly and then stash it. But this is Guns, Knives, Watches, and I know I make a few videos about it, but this bag makes my life a lot more livable. Am I getting ready for the zombie apocalypse? No. Am I getting ready for the tactical invasion from North Korea or Russia or whatever other absurd situation we can come up with? No. But I am, trying to make my life easier. I'm trying to make my family's life safer. I'm trying to make things that happen in the real world less of an inconvenience. Do I have some things that just, as I said, have a cool factor, like the titanium canteen, that is totally cost ineffective? But if you want the ultra lightest and the ultra this, there, the other, plus have it's a canteen, It's just got that retro thing going on, man. It works. Really does. But as I said, it's not cost effective or the shit. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and this is me making another backpack video like you haven't seen a million of them. But as I said, this is it's an evolution, changes all the time, and has become indispensable in my life. Oh, one other thing. I carry a Vortex optic. This is a monocular, and this is the older version. But this one has a ranging reticle in it. That way I can more easily tell distances. How big's a car in mils, and tell you a pretty good distance. It's a skill you need to have if you have any ranging reticles, any reticles at all. It's good that if you know sizes, and you can even believe it or not range with a standard duplex reticle if you know how to set it up, and you know your cartridge, and you do just a small amount of experimentation. You can use the top of the duplex that's off the crosshair. You can use the crosshair, and then you can use the bottom one. And if you shoot those at distances and figure out where they are for your particular cartridge, you can have 3 ranges already marked out on yours pretty easy, even if you don't have a ranging reticle. But this is in mils, and I really, really like it. The newer one has a focus on it, but I tend to mess with the eyepiece focus to get a good one. And will that take the reticle, make it out of focus sometimes? Yeah. But in a situation, a lot of times, I'm not really caring about ranging. I'm just caring about seeing. And as I get older, that's something that I value more and more. And it's just an 8X monocular. Anyway, this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and thanks if you've made it this far. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.